Wednesday, December the 3rd. Lake level is 910 1/4, down about 6 inches or so since last week. Water temperatures, 52 to 53 degrees. On most of the main lake, any place where the water's clear. Up in the river arms, in the mornings and stuff, you'll find some water below 50, 48, 49 degrees, and then warming up throughout the day. There's a variety of things going on. They're still biting the wigglewort good and the spinnerbait. That bite seems to be best early in the morning, especially if the wind's blowing. Fishing a lot of main lake and secondary points with like football size to ledge rock. It seems like later in the day there's more fish up on the ledges, some on some vertical bluffs, but especially where it goes from the big black ledge rock to the smaller football size rock. You can catch some fish on a jerkbait, starting to bite a jerkbait some. You catch some fish on a drop shot on main lake points. And I've been finding a lot of shad, especially up in the James River arm, out off the flats. Now, I have been catching some fish on a Rapala ice fishing jig. I believe this is I think I might have said 3/4 ounce last week, but it's a 7/8 ounce. And they basically use it vertical fishing under the ice. And I'll use a white and chartreuse, white and blue, but you pretty much just vertical jig it just like you would a jigging spoon. And some of the fish are extremely deep. I've caught some in as deep as 60 to 65 foot of water this past weekend. And there's fish up there in 2 foot of water on the bank. Also, another thing that's starting to bite, looks like Gizmo's looking for a treat, but starting to bite an Alabama rig, and they've probably been biting this for a few weeks, but haven't been throwing it very much. And there's a variety of different styles of Alabama rigs. This one here is a chomper. It's actually got blades on it. You know, I got 2 dummy baits without any hooks. And I'll use a mixture of different baits. I'll use a lot of Swim Fluke Juniors, but usually on my center wire, which is a little bit longer, I'll usually use a little bit different bait. Here I've got a 3.8 Kitech on it. And if you'll notice, on some of these, all of the ones with hooks, I've got a little weed guard. Get that. I've got a little plastic weed guard in here so I can throw it around the brush piles and around the trees. And this is actually just, they make them for crappie jigs, but they do make some bigger ones. You just slide it on before you slide your bait on. Then you take and slide it right over your hook point. It's soft enough where it doesn't impair, you know, a soft bite. But a lot of different places you can throw the A-rig. You can throw it around cedar trees where you would throw a jerkbait. Or there's also some fish being caught out on the deeper bluff ends, letting it go down to, you know, 20, 25 feet and working it off the treetops. So, you know, right now, the weather's straightened out pretty good. Where a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, it was miserable out there. But we've got a lot of days now where it gets up to 50 degrees throughout the day. The wind's not blowing, to be pretty comfortable fishing. You got the lake to yourself, and there's some good fish to be caught. I noticed this past weekend the weights were up there considerably from the last couple weeks, and some bigger fish starting to show up. So the next month or so is going to be, you know, a really good time to get out there if you get a nice day and a chance to get some quality fish. I was going to give you a little tip on batteries where it's starting to get cold. If you've got your boat put up for the winter, you know, make sure your batteries are charged before you let it set out there. If it's going to be out there all winter, it's not a bad idea to take your batteries out, bring them in the garage, let them set on the floor. Doesn't hurt them a bit setting on the concrete floor. I think that's an old myth that setting batteries on a concrete floor will drain them and ruin them. But my battery people tell me that there's nothing to that. If your boat's outside and you've got an onboard charger, you know, maybe once every couple of weeks, go out and plug the charger in and let it charge for a day. The worst thing that can happen to a battery is when it gets really cold, is if it's sitting out there dead, it's possible that, you know, that could freeze, break the battery, and, you know, it's just never good to keep a battery with low voltage setting anyways. You should always charge them whenever you bring your boat in. Also, I'm going to be doing a seminar tomorrow night on Lowrance Electronics at Branson West Marine. If you think you're going to make it, Call the guys at Branson West Marine. I think it's 272-1000. Let them know that you're coming. They're going to feed us all, so just if you think you're going to make it, call them so make sure they got enough food. So till next week, good luck, good fishing.